What happens when you drink water from a wine glass every day? The ritual that reprograms your mind for abundance. Pay attention, because today I'm going to reveal something so simple that it seems impossible for it to work, but it does. What if you drank water from a wine glass instead of a regular glass? At first glance it sounds absurd, right? But when you understand how your brain, your energy, and your identity work, it's not so absurd anymore. Then you'll discover that this simple gesture has enormous power. I'm not talking about a trick, but about neuroscience, symbolic psychology, and mental reprogramming. Today I'll explain why drinking water from a wine glass can boost your self-esteem, activate your mind for abundance, and even change the way you relate to your daily life. Point number 1. Small gestures create strong identities. There is something that science has proven time and again: rituals transform the way we perceive ourselves. Harvard conducted a study in positive psychology that found that rituals, even if they are simple and everyday, increase the sense of well-being, the sense of control, and self-esteem. Why? Because your brain interprets those gestures as signals of identity. When you drink water from a wine glass, your mind doesn't perceive it as a common trivial act, but rather interprets it as an act of celebration, of self-worth, of abundance, of wealth. And your identity changes with every micro-action you take. Point number 2. The wine glass is a symbol, and your brain understands symbols. Your brain works largely through symbolic associations. A wine glass is automatically associated with celebration, success, achievement, care, beauty, abundance. Your mind is biological, symbolic, and emotional. When you drink water from a glass, something fascinating happens. You reinforce the idea that your life deserves to be celebrated every day. Your brain reads this as a sign that you value yourself. Your subconscious starts to seek consistency with that image. This isn't metaphysics, it's cognitive psychology, it's science. The reticular activating system is the filter that creates your reality. Inside your brain there's a mechanism called the reticular activating system. And it's a filter that decides what information is important and what should be ignored. When you make a symbolic gesture of abundance, like using an elegant glass to drink water, every day you're sending a direct message to that filter. You're telling it, focus on what's valuable, focus on what's good for me, focus on prosperity. Your mental reticular activating system starts to bring to your awareness opportunities, ideas, decisions, and behaviors that match that identity. That's why this isn't magic. That's why this is neuroprogramming. 4. Unconscious self-esteem. How you see yourself determines how you act, and your cells know it. When you use a special glass for something as simple as drinking water, you're reinforcing a deep emotional message, which is, I treat myself with love. I give myself the best. I am important to myself. Science has already documented that small acts of self-care improve self-worth, especially in studies on self-affirmation at Stanford University. When someone values themselves, they change. They change how they walk, how they talk, how they work, how they make decisions, how they relate to others, how they present themselves in the world. Others notice it too. A person who treats themselves with dignity inspires dignity. Point number 5, the magic of the symbol. Elevating the everyday is elevating your life. You might think it's just a glass, what's the big deal? But it's not a ritual, it's a reminder, it's a declaration of identity. If you can turn the simplest action, for example drinking water every day, into an act of beauty, presence, and abundance, then you can turn any area of your life into something extraordinary. You can make your mornings, your work, your relationships, your habits, your energy extraordinary. Everything can be elevated if you decide to elevate it. In conclusion, it's not about the simple cup, it's about what it symbolizes. It's a daily gesture of abundance, intention, and self-esteem. Deep changes sometimes begin with the smallest, simplest, and most basic things, even the imperceptible. Elevating your gestures boosts your energy, which lifts your whole life. Write in the comments. I celebrate my life every day, and my mind gets used to celebrating, and as a result, it brings me more and more abundance continuously.